Good morning. I'm not in the courts this morning. I've been in Zechariah. I memorized that book and I've been doing a little reciting this morning just because it was just on my heart. Jerusalem, because of all that's happening with the Middle East peace thing that President Trump's been able to broker. So I just wanted to talk about that just a minute, because people are saying, well, is this, Trump is the Antichrist, he's making peace in the Middle East. What is interesting to me is because he's not the Antichrist. We're not to that place yet. But what's interesting to me is the alignment of the nations that are coming toward Israel and those that are making a definite stand against. Turkey, I saw where Turkey has, definitely said this is bad, this is horrible. And Turkey and Iran are buddies. And I think Turkey and Russia are still buddies. I haven't kept up with all that. But I read this book a few years ago by Mark Davidson called Daniel Revisited. Got some interesting insights in here about the beasts that Daniel sees and these visions that Daniel sees. And he brings out the point that, we've thought that Alexander the Great was that goat of Daniel. Is it 7 or 8? I can't remember, where the goat that goes fast and conquers. I think that's 7. No, it's 8. Anyway, and that was the ancient history. Well, there's other ways to look at that. In the ancient world, the west coast of Turkey belonged to Greece. That was Yunan was that part of Turkey. Plato lived in Turkey. It was Greece in those days. So, and the north, you look directly on the map from Israel north, it's Turkey. Turkey's the land of the Hittites, the ancient Hittites. We could go on about how many peoples are really ones that lived in that land that is now Turkey. And just broad strokes here, we need to just think about who's aligning with Israel right now, although we don't know if this is going to last, right? But there's just this movement of those nations over there. I was talking this morning, I was reciting Zechariah 12. It says, I will make Jerusalem a cup of reeling for all peoples. In the day when they lay siege, for the surrounding peoples, when they lay siege against Judah and Jerusalem. And then he says, in that day I'll make Jerusalem a very heavy stone for all peoples. All who would heave it away will surely be cut to pieces, though all nations of the earth are gathered against it. And then it proceeds to, Zechariah 12 proceeds to explain this huge battle that's going to happen around Jerusalem and how the Lord's going to fight for Jerusalem. And after which comes, then I will pour on the house of David, on the house of, on the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the spirit of grace and supplication. Then they will look on me, whom they pierced, and mourn for him as for an only son. So, there's 3 or 4 battles described in Zechariah that we don't know when that's going to happen. I'm kind of getting off the subject, but just broad strokes. That Mark Davidson says that there's going to be a 4-nation alignment against Israel, and he sees it as Turkey and Albania, because that's a Muslim stronghold over there in Eastern Europe. Egypt and, Syria? I believe it's Syria. And there's all this stuff about Damascus and Syria in Zechariah 9 that just described to me what has been going on in Syria in our day. Anyway, it's just, all this is real interesting, and I just wanted to just say that we are in the shifting of these nations in this period right here. We don't know who's going to be with whom. But it's very interesting, the nations that are coming out so against, and we know Iran would. But Turkey is a Sunni Muslim, and Iran is Shia Muslim. And so they're usually enemies, but against Israel, they come together. That's what happens in the world. A lot of times nations come together because they're both against another nation. And a very heavy stone for all peoples. All who would heave it away will surely be cut in pieces, though all nations of the earth are gathered against it. That's Zechariah 12. That's what's going to happen. So I just thought I would just say a word about that. It's just interesting, the alignment of the nations. What does this mean, those Gulf states aligning with Israel? We don't really know. And in Islam holy law, it's totally legal to lie. If it causes, it brings further the cause of Islam, it's perfectly legal for a Muslim to lie. So I want to believe the best about these guys. I love the Muslim people, but I hate the religion because it's a religion of death and bondage. And it captures its adherents and they end up in death and bondage. So anyway, that's enough. I just wanted to say that. Bless you all. Bless your day.